morning, sir.
Good morning and welcome.
May we meet you, sir?
My name is Dr. Chimezie Amadi. I am the Honorable Commissioner for Digital Economy and E-Government in Imo State.
As an Honorable Commissioner for Digital Economy, how can you explain to the masses in layman's terms what the ministry implies and her importance to the government and Igbo people?
Okay, this ministry is actually created to promote the adoption of technology in governance, in social development. It's created to ensure that technology is infused and adopted in the way we work, the way we school, the way we assess social services in our state, the way we practice agriculture and other economic developmental activities in the state. So the whole essence is to ensure tech diffusion in every facet of our society as a people in Imo State, including ensuring that our people are equipped with the right technical skills in order to make them relevant in the evolving digital economy.
Having a set of trainees, a set or more trainees, variety areas of digital and IT applications, what are your expectations? What are the expectations of your ministry on your graduates in the micro society? What do you expect of them?
Yeah, we have very heightened expectations of them because this is about creating a brand new economy in the state, what we call the startup economy. Like what you see in the US, what you see in Europe, most countries in Europe, and lately what you're seeing in Asian countries, what you call the Asian tiger. You find out that digital economy has been the key driver for socio-economic transformation in those states, or in those countries rather. So for us in the state, by equipping our people with the right digital skills, especially emerging skills, or what we call the fourth industrial revolution skill set, is to make them ready to become key players in the emerging digital economy. And what do I mean by that? A lot have changed about global economy. Economies are now adopting technology to power the engine of such economy. Technology is driving almost everything in life today. So that you need people, especially your indigenous people, to have the skills that is required to be able to use these digital skills and digital tools in order to provide digital services that will make life more meaningful and easier for the people. So what we expect from our graduates is for them to be able to utilize those skills we've equipped them with. Not just utilizing it for themselves, but also commercializing those skills so that they are more economically useful to the society and to Imo State in particular. Moreover, we also expect them to deploy those skills and use it to create wealth. Because one thing about knowledge is, it doesn't really make sense when you acquire knowledge and it doesn't lead to wealth creation. So any knowledge that is not transformed into wealth creation is more or less useless. So our expectation is that those graduates that have passed through the Skill Up Imo project, which is initiated by our performing governor, distinguished Senator Adanna, are able, first of all, to use it in creating wealth, to use it in developing digital solutions that solve societal problems and address societal challenges, starting with Imo State as a domain. So this is our main expectation. The other expectation, which is secondary, is that they should be able to deploy those skills to provide services to the global community. So that they can, for instance, in fintech, or in cyber security, or in web development, or in digital marketing. These are skills we equip them with. So there are companies that are outside the shores of this nation, and are based abroad, and they want people with these kind of skills. For instance, data analytics skills. It's in high demand and it's very scarce in the world today. So we have trained a lot of our people in data analytics, and they can now be able to offshore those skills and provide services to these companies abroad. And while they're in Imo State, they're earning in pounds and dollars.
Wow.
And this is going to contribute to the growth of our local economy and create more jobs for our youth. So this is exactly the expectation that we have. And the success story here is that some of them are already doing this. Even before the graduation, we had our first millionaire, a young boy that is a student in Futo. He's used his digital marketing skills, to be able to provide services to some businesses in Owerri, especially the hotels. They engage him and he's able to provide services by becoming their brand ambassador, marketing their brands online, and they are having more guests in their hotels, and they are placing him on retainership and paying him. And he made, by the time he got about 5 hotels from his testimonials, he made his first 1 million as a student.
Wow.
And this is just one single example out of many.
What are the job opportunities for your graduates? What I mean is, are you in partnership with the companies that need such talents?
Okay, that's a very good question. I think what started happening from the set-go is that companies started rushing down to Imo State. Wow. Immediately after the flag off, companies like Konga, companies like Zynos Technologies. There is also a filmmaking company in Owerri here, that also came, conducted interview amongst our graduates and employed some of them. So big tech companies are coming. There are companies in Abuja that are trying to launch and establish a branch in Owerri. The first port of call for them to employ the skills they need is usually this ministry. And we're in constant touch with our graduates, giving them, connecting them to these job opportunities, giving them the right knowledge and the right the preparation for them to go for such interviews and gain those jobs. And there are a lot of testimonies already out there which comprises as part of our success stories. So we have this partnership that is organic. It's not that we have a written partnership. Digital skills are scarce. And digital skills brightens the opportunity to become economically important or a key player in the economies of any nation. So because they are scarce and they are in high demand, employers of labor are rushing and running after such people with those skills. Research has shown that a worker or an employee with digital skills beyond the traditional skills of having gone through the 4 walls of the university. If you have an added digital skills to the original skills you have high chance of being employed than the other person who has just the traditional skills.
You sound so much enlightened in this line. May I ask, what is your background? Commissioner Digital.
Okay, fine. I have been in this space for 20 years now. In fact, October 13 will make me 20 years in the tech space in this country. And before now, I have worked in the industry as a regulator, the foremost institution in this nation, the Nigerian Communications Commission. That's where I was seconded from. I've worked there, worked in different areas of telecom development and regulation, and also worked in the research and development department, where I headed the emerging technology unit. And that unit also gave me the opportunity to interact with the tech ecosystem in the nation. And we're able to launch a lot of startups, also grow a lot of tech communities across the country. So I understand what the early stage challenges of tech companies face in this nation. I understand what the right strategic intervention from government perspective should be in order to stimulate and animate tech and startup development in any society. So this is just a bit of my background before taking up the job as the Commissioner for Digital Economy and E-Government.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
For the courses available, we have 3 basic areas of training. The first is what we call basic for beginners. And the second level of training is what we call the intermediate level, and then we have the advanced level. For basic for beginners level, we have computer appreciation, we have introduction to LAN networking, we have CCTV engineering, we have car tracking engineering, we also have a general course which we call digital entrepreneurship. Everybody must pass through this program. Then we have phone repairs. You have more phone repairs in Imo State today than before. So we are training more people in phone repairs engineering. So for the intermediate courses, we have what we call the UI UX design. We also have introduction to networking. We have digital marketing, which is one of our premium courses here. We have content creation. These are digital driven jobs. We also have we have, I think that's about that on the intermediate level. Okay. Then you go to the advanced level. You have cybersecurity. These are very high level courses that as you're graduating, you are getting a high paying job, or you are starting your work as a consultant to a big conglomerate. Wow. So you have cybersecurity, you have data analytics, you have agile project management, and you have front-end development and back-end development. You also have app development. So we are having people who can build apps in Imo State today. Okay. So all these apps, like Uber app, like all the banking apps, we are training and graduating people with such skills. And these apps will be developed. You see a lot of apps made in Imo, created in Imo, and it will be used anywhere.
I have my colleagues here.
I am Sabi Elemara, Sabinus Elemba, Business Day newspaper.
Okay, sir.
So when we talk about digital ministry, it sounds so elitist because the market woman, the economy woman may not know what this ministry is about. It's unlike agriculture, works, and housing. Now, just explain so that the market woman can understand it, and they tell us how it can be deployed to agriculture, to grow agriculture, which is the mainstay of the economy and of the state.
Thank you so much, Sabi. Once again, you're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Simply put, when you talk about digital economy, you talk about the internet-based economy, or what you call the web-based economy. I don't know whether this also sounds very vivacious, but to break it down is that internet itself is a technology that is an enabler to other activities that happen within a traditional economy. Before we know how to go to the market, buy our vegetables, buy oil, buy egusi, come back home and make a pot of soup for the family. But today, you don't actually need to go physically to any market. There are online marketplaces. There are digital platforms that are being created that you use such platforms to purchase, to sell goods and services anywhere in the world. That is what we talk about digital economy. So it's an economy based on the internet, utilization of internet technology to enable commerce, enable health services, enable education, enable agriculture. This is what we call the e-health, e-learning, agri-tech, and any aspect of the economy. There is technology diffusion today in all aspects. For instance, before now, if you want to come from your office to this ministry, you, of course, if you don't have a car, go and stand by the roadside, keep flagging buses or taxis. And sometimes they will tell you they are not headed your way. If rain is falling, rain will beat you. If sun is shining, the heat will harm you. But today, there's a technology called Uber. And other technologies, what has it done? It has made transportation sector more effective, more efficient, more time-saving, and more cost-saving. That with the instrumentality of an app, you can order an Uber ride, and you'll be in the comfort of your home. You don't need to go and stand by the roadside. With your phone, your smartphone, you know when the Uber will arrive. When the Uber arrives, the Uber calls you have arrived, and you enter the car pleasurably, and the car takes you to the point where you are going. What has that done? Convenience has been created. Now the Uber man or the taxi man before Uber, who used to roam around the world looking for a passenger, wasting his fuel, because at the end of the day he might not get that passenger, and at the end of the day he will have incurred a lot of operational costs. But now there is a communication which is done online, and a virtual communication platform that connects a passenger, a prospective passenger, to a prospective taxi man. And both of them agrees on what time and where to meet, therefore saving cost at both ends. That is what technology brings to bear.
We talk about a special agriculture industrial processing zone, which I don't know whether it has been established in this state, because last year some group of people came. Then how will the market, why the rural women, rural people who are farmers, how will this ministry you are talking about aid them in bettering their products, the agri products? How will it go?
We're here to promote, from where I started, the adoption of technology in enhancing opportunities in every facet of our economy, agriculture inclusive. The woman in Ohajiebema or the woman in Amodara, Abaje, in Wangele, where I come from, has a better opportunity today because of this ministry and the works we plan to do. You might not be seeing it now, but in few months down the line, you will see a lot of innovations, tech innovations coming to help Imo people, no matter what you do as your trade in life. The woman who is processing palm oil in my village, today, the only opportunity she has to sell those things is either she transports the product to Owerri and then to any of the marketplace and then sell them. The woman cannot utilize any of the digital platforms to market her product. And again, she's restricted in terms of customer base because she's only bothered about servicing those within the vicinity of that same village. Because she might not even have money to transport that, both herself and the product to Owerri, where you have larger concentration of population, and that's where the market is. And she is not getting commercial value for that product because less customer base, less opportunity to access a bigger market. This is what that woman in my village is suffering. But we are trying, we have, through our training program, the Scale Up Imo program, have developed and, grown some young Imolites in terms of front-end development and back-end development. They are very good coders today, and they are right now part of the assignments and projects we've given them to generate digital products and create platforms that will enhance access to markets for the woman in the rural area. So when this platform, it will be like what you have today. You have Konga, you have Gigi. We're creating a homegrown Imo Imo developed platform. We'll give it a name, and it will be free for anybody in Imo State to access. And those women that you refer to in the rural areas will be able to advertise their products. We will help them. Because the first thing is to grow, is to train people with the right skills to manage, to develop and also to manage this kind of platforms. And that's what we're doing. So we have graduated the first batch of 5,000, and all of them are being deployed to different localities. So once these platforms are built, it's ongoing right now. A project team has been set up that will be developing it, and once we launch it, we will market it, advertise it, and encourage our people to embrace that platform, market their products on it. So whether you are in Owerri, whether you are in Lagos, anywhere you are, you can order your fresh palm wine, and the producer of that palm wine is in your village, but you have seen that palm wine on that platform. You order and pay. Once you pay, the man gets his money, and he gets better value for it. And then what again will happen is that logistic companies will begin to spring up in Imo State. People who will do last mile delivery, they will move from Amarako or from my village in Amodara, in Abaje, and move it straight to my location in Owerri, and they're fresh. But you didn't travel to the village, and they didn't come to Owerri, but yet there is a exchange of goods and services. That is one way the local farmer and the rural woman will benefit. Access to the larger market. A platform is being developed to grant that access to all of them. Then other ways is that we will deploy smarter technologies to help them in terms of their farm products. Knowledge, they say, is power. And when knowledge is well deployed, it turns to wisdom. So we will help them to assess this knowledge through constant education, because there are resources. In our new website, we have created a page we call Open Data. People will have access to it no matter which sector you are in. There is something that technology can offer you. You have access to it. We will also guide you and help you to be able to access those technology, utilize those technology to increase your efficiency and productivity in whatever you do.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
My name is John Chinyere. I represent the Nigerian Tribune newspapers in Owerri. Yeah, I want to ask you, sir, accepted that your ministry is almost one of the newest ministries created by the governor. What could be, or what are your challenges since you came in, sir?
I am sorry I have to disappoint you because of my own belief and philosophy in life. I am one of those in the school of thought that I don't see challenges, rather I see opportunities. What people call challenges, I flip them into opportunities. So what has happened since I assumed this office is be able to break new grounds, face whatever difficulties, early stage challenges you could face when you are starting up a ministry like this. But I was rather being propelled by the impact I know that this will create in the state. And I'm rather being propelled by the fact that I have a very supportive governor who shared the vision of using technology to create new opportunities for our people. So I am not a challenge, inhibited individual, rather I'm an impact-driven person. Where people see challenges, I see them as opportunities. For instance, what people might think as challenges, will it be easy for people to embrace the idea of adopting technology to do things, in the civil service of the state? Are they ready to change from their traditional mentality to using technology to, deliver public services in a qualitative manner in the state? Do they think that technology will now take their places by retiring them, and by so doing they are not willing to embrace technology? But what this means is, as a commissioner, I need to work hard to explain better, educate people better, and make sure that the idea of increasing efficiency and productivity in the state using technology is accepted within the state civil service. Again, in our society, the business environment that we have found ourselves, as Imo, we have the highest literacy rate today in Nigeria based on a 2022 research publication. But how many of us have embraced technology in doing things in a more efficient and in a better way? There is still a challenge in that area, but I see that challenge as an opportunity to make impact, where Imo becomes the digital skills hub of Africa, where Imo has the best modern workforce that relies on technology to deliver services to the people of Imo State, where in Imo it is easier for you to transact, business to government transaction, government to citizens transaction, and business to business transactions are done largely using technology. So I see opportunities abound in our environment and in our state today with the work we are doing, and I'm not seeing challenges at all. Thank you.
Honorable Commissioner, thank you. My name is Adanna, and I'm the Bureau Chief of Nigerian Pilot Newspapers in Imo State. My question is, your ministry is new in the state, like we've known, and you are training people at the level, basically youth now. How is this going to get down to the local government levels, and what plans do you have to also extend this to finance management in terms of IGR and revenue leakages in the state system?
I don't know whether you have come across our policy trust, which we call the IDEA 2022 to 2026. IDEA stands for Imo Digital Economic Agenda. It's a 5-year plan to drive total transformation of Imo State using technology. And this cuts across all the MDAs in the state. Today in Imo, you could believe with me that there is already an effort to digitize some of the government processes, specifically in the area of salary payment, in the area of capturing the number of Imo workforce properly, in the area of automating the idea of worker compensation in the state. And Imo, amongst all the 36 states in this federation, Imo is one of those with the most robust database or data center in the country today. And that data center is well managed, that it has infused efficiency in the way people receive compensation for work done, for public service. And you could see that salaries are paid as at when due, on time, because you have data. Data is the new oil and is the power for planning, for budgeting, and for efficient delivery of public services. We're already there. And other things, the services that the data center is providing, and that is digitization of government processes. We have planned to extend that in the near future in terms of using it to drive growth and a spike in IGR of the state. Today, the IGR could be better than what it is. And this ministry is already, we've hit the ground running. We have conducted a technology audit. We are working with the Internal Revenue Office, working with the data center, also moving from ministry to departments to agencies of government, looking for how to plug the loopholes in their budget. And once those loopholes are plugged, you find out that it will help in shoring up the state IGR. And that will translate to accelerated development in our state. Again, is from what we have seen from our audit, there is need to move faster and to deploy technology in transportation. Ticketing system should be automated. To deploy technology in education, we'll be able to capture the total number of enrollees in each of our state-owned universities, see how the school fees are paid and collected. So a payment and receipting system is being developed, and this will be deployed. Some of them have been deployed or developed and deployed already, but they're on the test run level at this time. So when we go into full-scale operation, you find out that the impact in IGR will be massive. And that will lead, like I said earlier, to an accelerated development in other sectors of our economy. So I think that will address that question. But there is a second leg to your question.
Getting it down to the rural, like the local government service system.
Okay, yeah. You asked about our training, getting to the grassroots. Okay. So, and that's why I talked about the idea document. The idea document is a robust plan. I will urge you to take time to look at it. So it's a robust plan that's why our training is being deployed in cohorts. You have the first cohort where we have trained 5,000 Imolites, specifically the youth. There are also the aged amongst them. There is also the physically challenged, or what we call the differently abled group among them. So every member of the society is represented in that cohort 1. We are now about starting cohort 2. In our cohort 1, our centers were mainly 4, and 80% of them were concentrated in the urban area. But in cohort 2, we have opened up more. 5 additional centers have been, training centers have been created. In Keom Badiwe, that will take charge of that axis. Imo Polytechnic Omoma also is up and running. You have University of Agriculture in Omago is also now onboarded as part of the training center. You have Clarishan University is also onboarded. Of course, you have Futo, Nekede, IMSU. So we have additional 5 centers just to make sure there is adequate spread and ease of access to learning, and acquiring these skills across the entire state, irrespective of where you are. For the local government, we have in the 3rd cohort, which will happen immediately after the 2nd cohort, we are now doing an audit and assessment of our facilities in each of the local government headquarters. But we can't deploy, we can't use them now because of the state of unreadiness we met on ground. Previous administration tried to establish ICT centers in some of the local government headquarters, but they're in a very parlous state as we speak. So His Excellency is also, it's in his plan in the nearest future to revamp those ICT centers, re-equip them and re-resource them so that we can use them in cohort 3. And what we are seeing also is that communities beyond the local government headquarters, communities in Imo State are now beginning to approach us that they are willing to convert their town halls or their village halls into a learning center. Wow. And their illustrious sons are willing to donate computer systems and also provide internet access that will enhance learning and teaching in those areas. A good example is, last December I was with the Deputy Governor of the state, Professor Placid Njoku, in his community, where they are launching the learning center, the development of a learning center in that place. And that project was initially designed as a meeting hall for the community. But seeing what is happening, they are now converting it to a digital learning center. And this is happening across the entire state now. And so that is what we want to encourage. His Excellency is so passionate about this program, and he has placed the highest premium that you can think of on what we are doing, because he's a people-oriented governor. He's a youth lover. He is here to, give good governance, not looking at politics, but give good governance. When he talked about shared prosperity, this is a textbook definition of what shared prosperity means. And this is the practical example of where shared prosperity, giving opportunities to the younger generation who are the future leaders of these states. And these opportunities are leading to wealth creation in the state. And youths are engaged, becoming contributors to the digital economy of the state. That is the whole essence. And we want to take it to the remotest area in this state, so that those in the grassroots, those in the rural areas will benefit just like those in the urban areas are benefiting.
Outside government, what is the cost implication to train one youth? The cost implication, what I mean that the governor is sponsoring the training of Imo State youths.
Yes.
But without this privilege created by the government, if they are to go outside to obtain this training, what is the cost implication?
I understand you perfectly well. Answer to this question is also very relative, but I will tell you for sure they are not pocket friendly.
Wow.
Without the intervention of what His Excellency is doing through this scholarship program in the Skill Up Imo, none of these are youths. Maybe less than 1% of them will be able to afford the training, any of the training. If you go to Aptech, which is a credible training, digital training institute,
okay,
the least training, even for computer appreciation, you pay nothing less than 350,000 upwards.
350,000?
Exactly, per person.
Computer appreciation only?
Exactly. If you go to Cisco Network Academy, or you go to the one being offered by MasterCard, you pay a fortune to be trained in any of the skill set that we are offering here free of charge, courtesy His Excellency Distinguished Senator Okuzo.
How much does a MasterCard charge?
I've told you the industry average, no matter how little that training is from 350,000 above.
Wow.
So depending on the trainer that you're talking with.
Okay.
And why our own is even more impactful is that we are not doing virtual training. We are not doing online training.
Oh.
We are doing face-to-face. And face-to-face is the most effective way to train an individual.
Okay.
Because you understand the body language, you communicate the knowledge, the person is able to ask questions the way he or she wants to ask those questions,
okay,
and you get the right responses. Okay. And I will shock you with this revelation. His Excellency is not just offering scholarship training, and the cost is so much on the state, but he has the heart because he's people-oriented. He means well for the Imo youth.
So after training, you still source for companies that will employ
We connect them to job opportunities.
Wow.
Companies are now coming to us. We're not even going to them. Because like I said earlier, these skills are scarce. They're not easily found. And for you to play in the modern economy, you need people with this kind of skills we're talking about. So companies on daily basis, they come to this ministry to ask us that they need somebody with these skills. They want somebody who can develop a website for them. They want a data analyst. Companies, some of our graduates are launching their own startups.
Wow.
Some of them are setting up small businesses, as a company, and they are offering CCTV engineering services, car tracking engineering services today.
Wow.
Before now, these skills are sourced from outside Imo. You call them and invite them from Lagos to come and do such services for you. The very few of them that are doing it in Imo are largely unknown. But the more we speak about the advocacy that we do, people are now understanding that technology can make life better for them. Businesses can leverage technology to increase their efficiency, productivity, and profitability at the same time. And they are embracing it. I'm most impressed with the way and manner Imo businesses and Imo citizens are embracing technology.
My name is Anolu Vincent of Daily Independent Newspapers. Mine is not just a question, but a clarification. You said that Imo has the highest literacy rate based on something you mentioned, which I didn't find. So how do we arrive at that?
So there's a research, if you Google and check the state with the highest literacy rate in Nigeria, you will see Imo on the top of the log. And that research was published last year, 2022. So it's the latest ranking for literacy rates among all the states in Nigeria. You can do a quick fact check and it will prove you right. So what this means is that when it comes to having the total number of graduates or people who are educated, in Nigeria, we churn out more numbers than any state in the Federation. I will have more graduates in Imo than any other state in Nigeria. And the advantage it offers us is that we have a ready workforce. And most of them, sadly, do not have digital skills. Because when we started Cohort 1, we conducted a survey to find out how digitally literate some of them are. Literacy today is no longer defined by your ability to read and write, but rather how much of digital technology you can use to perform simple tasks in a business environment. Because this is where the new economy is headed. You need to also re-educate yourself, what we call reskilling, upskilling yourself, acquire these digital skills, any of them, so that you can be a player in the evolving and emerging global digital economy. Otherwise, you will see yourself placing yourself in a disadvantaged position, and you will now become an onlooker, and you will feel marginalized. Here now we are, if we are talking about Google Trend, an AI tool that helps to project the future and tells you what is happening in the world, maybe give you in the next 2-3 years what the global trend is all about in any area. And if you don't know that subject and you don't know what we are talking about, you will feel marginalized. You will feel segregated against. So for you to avoid such situation is to quickly adopt digital skills. And that will help you to become a member of the new world that is driven by technology.
Okay, so what are the courses available in this digital training?
Okay, fine.
Follow up there, sir. Follow up. Your program, what target are you looking at? How many number of youths are you targeting to train within the time frame, sir?
Okay, based on the idea document, the Imo Digital Economy Agenda, which in Pillar 1, there are 6 pillars in that idea document. The first pillar is called Digital Literacy and Skills. That's the pillar. And under this first pillar, that's where we developed a strategic initiative called the Skill Up Imo program. Okay. Now, the second pillar talks about solid infrastructure. The solid infrastructure is about developing and promoting and facilitating broadband deployment from rural to semi-urban and in the urban area to make sure that we have a connected Imo in the next 6 years. The third pillar is what we call the soft infrastructure. The soft infrastructure is helping to animate the tech ecosystem in Imo State those innovators, those innovation-driven businesses, those small businesses that are tech-driven, how do we facilitate government support and intervention to create the right environment that will stimulate better innovation around the state? And such innovative products and services can be exported. Somebody developed Facebook.
Yes.
Somebody developed Google. Somebody developed Twitter. And do you know how much that has contributed to the economies of those countries? Today alone, Facebook, the net worth of Facebook and say Twitter is greater and higher than the combined GDP of the entire African continent.
Wow.
Just 2 or 3 American-based technology companies, their net worth is higher than the economy of the entire Africa. And this was not done by the entire country called America, but an individual who has gone through the kind of training we are giving our kids today. So anything can happen anytime in the state with the opportunities that we're having. So the 4th, the 5th, and the 6th pillars talks about advocacy, which is what we are achieving through this program. Let people know, educate, inform people of what digital economy and the opportunities that lies within. Then the other pillars talk about monitoring and evaluation. Anything you do, you must have a way to monitor expectations against impact. You must monitor it. So we are also deploying a monitoring and evaluation tool to, over certain defined period, assess what we are doing. Are we meeting our targets? Are we falling below the targets? Do we need to replan? And what next do we need to do? Just to ensure good governance. And the last one is about collaboration and partnership. So these are the 6 pillars upon which the IDEA Policy Trust stand on. But let me go quickly to the Scale Up IMO, which is just one initiative, because we have not ruled out the 2nd initiative, nor the 3rd initiative. There are so many strategic initiatives that will help us achieve the 1st pillar. Then, our overall target is to train 300,000 IMO youths in the next 3 years.
300,000.
And we have
in the next
3 years. So, meaning every year we target 100,000. That is our plan. Then, in this 100,000 that we are training, we have divided it into cohorts, like I said, to progress reasonably with facility support that we are getting, from the government and other willing stakeholders in the state. So, after this training, our other target is to connect 60% of our graduates to job opportunities, high-paying job opportunities. Whereas the other 30%, we provide them with startup funds and startup kits that can help them launch their own businesses and become contributors to the growth of IMO digital economy. So that is the overall plan, that we have in terms of training of our youth.
Okay, sir. So thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Yes, this is not a question, but I think your this ministry will help to decongest the unemployed youths, because if I am correct, Imo State is still ranking 1st in the area of unemployment in the country. Is it not true? But with the coming of your ministry, the coming of your ministry, and from what you have explained, now if the resources are there, resources are given to this ministry, which means we will not be ranking 1st in unemployment that of this country. So job opportunities are here and there for our teaming youths. Okay. So we thank you very much.
Okay. So let me react quickly to the issue of high youth unemployment. Yes, you might not be wrong by saying Imo State is number one, but statistics keep changing because it depends on when that was published. Yes, I knew Imo was rated to have, 56% youth unemployment, which as at that time was top on that log in terms of rating.
Even up to last year.
Good. But now what has happened with the introduction of this ministry? What is youth unemployment? When there is no much opportunities to become players in the economic activity of any society. The outright result is youth unemployment. But with the use of technology and the creation of the Ministry of Digital Economy and E-Government, you find out that our youth are now more exposed to digital opportunities than any other state. It is not easy to have trained and equipped I didn't say train, I said train and equip 5,000 Imo lads with digital skills and digital tools at the same time. No nation or no state, no nation in Africa or no state in Nigeria has ever done that.
Okay.
It takes a lot.
So you provide them with the computers?
Yes. So they were given digital tools depending on what you have learned and trained in. So like I said earlier, it's not about only connecting them to job opportunities. It's also about equipping them to start their own businesses. We trained about 40 differently abled persons, what you call the special needs community. We trained about 40 of them in the cohort 1. Only yesterday we did our impact analysis and we find out that what we gave them was seed fund of 100,000 each. We found out that out of the sample size we decided to survey in a way of about 15 of them, 7 of them have already started their own businesses today in a way.
Okay.
So when the next data of youth unemployment is taken, you will see how that will reflect. You understand?
Yes.
So when a project is started, there is a gestation period for that project to take off, and it's a period for the project to start making impact. So, but one thing that is instructive is that youth unemployment is not common in Imo State. Youth unemployment is a social challenge that is bedeviling the African continent, most especially, and also the Asian continent. It's as a result of what is called the youth bulge. Youth bulge is a situation where you have a greater number of your population within or below the ages of 35, within that youth bracket. And the economic opportunities for them to express themselves and participate in economic activities are limited. It leads to that youth bulge. And youth bulge can lead to positive impact or negative impact. A country might use that advantage of having a very young population size and then train them using technology and open up economic opportunities, not just in the state, but also in the world. Because these skills we are talking about, like I said, anybody that possesses this skill, your market is not Imo State. Your market is not Nigeria. Your market is the global market. Because that is where your opportunity lies.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for having us.
Wonderful one there.